everybody, it's Carolyn from The Perfect Balance Health and Lifestyle, and as I promised you, I have got Dawn here, who is a therapeutic counsellor and has been for quite a few years. I've got a few questions that I want to run past you, Dawn, and then we'll just basically talk about mental health, seeing as it is Mental Health Awareness Week. Are you okay with that?
I'm fine, yep.
So, Dawn, can you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into counselling?
I'm 54. I have 6 children. 4 children. I have 6. I have, yes. I adopted 2, and 4 of mine. So, yeah, I went through the hard bit for 4 of them. What do you want to know about me? I'm just an average, everyday person, and I'm nothing different from you. How did I get into counselling? My road to counselling actually started when I had postnatal depression. And I remember I sat down on my settee one day and said, okay, I have 2 options. I can die, which was an option, or I can get help. I decided, because I just had this little girl, I was going to get help. So I embarked on 3 years counselling, personal counselling. And from that, I thought to myself, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to go. So when I was 40, I went back to college and I worked my way through my qualifications. I've now got qualifications in counselling and I've got qualifications in psychotherapy. And I believe, I wish I'd done it earlier. I wish I'd done it a lot earlier. So that's my route into counselling.
Okay. And one of the questions that I've been asked to ask you, Dawn, I've got them written down here. What type of counselling do you do?
My training is person-centred counselling.
What does that mean?
It means, right, I'm not an expert, first of all. I'm a guide. I am a guide. I guide you through the counselling process. The only expert in my counselling room is my client. They are the expert because they've lived their life. They have experienced their life. They've felt all the feelings. They've gone through the trauma. All I am is a guide to help them through the counselling process. That is my guide. I also follow person-centred counselling was started by Carl Rogers. I think it was in the 40s or 50s. And he came up with guidelines, really. I don't think I'm 100% person-centred, to be honest. But I really 100% believe in Carl Rogers' core theory of empathy, non-judgmental, congruence, warmth. And if you put all that into a client, then that builds the trust. So I'm a firm believer of that. As to the rest of how I work, it's different techniques. I adapt to the client.
Okay, that's good. So do you work with a specific, look, I'll start again. Do you work with age group?
No, any age group. I'm not sure if people know this, but anyone under 18, if they understand the right from wrong, if they understand confidentiality, and after we've had a talk around having the parents' consent, if they don't want the parents' consent, they don't have to have it. It's called Gillick competencies, so I can work with any age group.
Okay, that's good. That's good. And how do you work with? So you obviously get lots of different clients in different age groups. So what happens when you get a client in that just because we talk about change, and you know, to come to somebody like yourself or to come to somebody like me, you know, really you have to want to change first of all, haven't you?
The only way counselling works is if that person is there, one, of their own free will, and 2, they are the one that want to do it. If they don't want to do it, I can't help them. It won't work. You'll hear people saying, oh, I had counselling, it was crap, it didn't work. No, because you only get out of counselling what you put in it.
I agree.
So unless that person wants to change, counselling will not work. Don't waste your money.
Right.
If that person doesn't put 100% in, they'll not get 100% out.
Mm-hmm. And it's not an easy road, is it?
It is, if done right, the hardest thing you will ever do in your entire life. I had it for 3 years and I have never ever done anything as hard. I've had emergency C-sections, I've had the lot, I've had trauma. I have never done anything as hard as that.
Mm-hmm.
Not ever.
Yeah.
And the people quit when it gets really hard. And that is why it doesn't work, because you can't go around trauma, you've got to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
And people get to the hard bit and go, I really don't want to do this. It's making me feel worse. I don't want to do it. They have to push on. They have to push on to get to that light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I have a saying, you're in this soggy pit and you're sat in the bottom of this soggy pit, and the first thing I want you to do is stand up and then look for your first foothold. I says, and if you look above you, it's a big deep pit. If you look above, there's a light up there, but you've got to get from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Find that first foothold and hold on tight, because it's a bit of a rocky ride. But it's that first step, isn't it, that's really, really difficult for some people.
What you described there is what it's like to have depression. You're at the bottom of a pit. You look up, the sky's not blue, it's grey.
Yeah.
Everything you look at is grey. And you feel like there is no way out of this pit. So yeah, it is exactly like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, one of the questions I've got, and I think you just answered it really, is how do you deal with the ambivalent clients?
I don't deal with them. I go with what they bring to the session. So going through counselling is like going through stages. Stage 1, somebody might not want to talk about it. They're not interested. They're not ready for counselling. Stage 2, they're ready for counselling. And it's not like you work through 7 stages, because you might get to stage 5 and you really feel you're making progress. Then you might slip to stage 3. So what we do is we deal with that client on that day with whatever they bring that day. So it's not like dealing with somebody that's always changing their mind. It's dealing with a person with what they bring that day and helping them through that.
One of the questions I asked, I didn't actually send you, is one somebody asked me, just in passing, how long is an average counselling session, and if I need counselling, how long will it take?
I've done 1 session because that's all that client wanted. They were getting married and the stress of everything had got on top of her. She got nowhere to put all these feelings of, everyone's getting on at me. I can't do anything right, you know, the bridezillas. And she just wanted somewhere to put the emotion and to put the situation in order for herself. And I've got other clients where I've done maybe 3, 4, 5 months counselling, longer.
Yeah.
It's individual.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Right, I've got a bit of a lengthy one here for you.
Okay, go.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're doing great.
I don't know about that.
You didn't want to come on here. Look at you. You're on a roll.
I cannot believe you convinced me to do this. Go on.
It's great. So, somebody's asked me, and I'm just going to read this out. We've already discussed it, but just to sort of give you a bit of an idea as what we're going to talk about, or what you're going to talk about. Somebody's son has lost the way and is very angry at times and is on medication. So I'm trying to keep this quite brief because it's quite lengthy.
Yeah.
And they've literally turned hybrid. Dropped out of school. And this person says they feel that the son has lost their way. And what they're looking for is guidance on how to deal with it and get him to talk. So he's clearly not talking. They don't think it's because of a divorce that the person's gone through. And what they're looking for is some guidance how to approach a teenager who's like 17 going on 18.
And that's an entire counselling session by itself. That's an entire counselling session by itself. The things that pop out at me is he's lost his way. Right, first thing is I don't know what his way was. I don't know what medication he's been on. To give an accurate answer to that is I would need a lot more information. But they're saying they don't think the divorce has upset him. Well, that person's life's been totally changed by a divorce. His normal has now become something else. And he's having to adjust.
Apparently he didn't get on with the other parent.
Yeah, that's fine, but it's still a matter of he's changed. Things have been taken out of his control. Things have happened that he can't control. Usually people that take things like drugs and drink and things like that have issues of control. You know, they need to be able to do something that they put that in their body because they decide to put it in their body, because everything else has been taken away. So basically, as a counsellor, I'm not here to give advice. But what I would say is if there's a family member that he could talk to, maybe could express to him, you know, do you think you need help? Can I help you find some help? But saying things that are going to give him guilt are not going to be constructive. So saying to him, well, you've lost your way, you've changed, you've done this, you've done that, that's just heaping guilt on him. So maybe getting a more distant person to talk to him, somebody that's not as deeply involved, might help. But to be honest, again, like we just said, he has to choose to do it.
Yeah, and it's somebody that he feels happy to talk to, not somebody that
exactly
will choose for them.
Yes.
Okay, well, those are all the questions that I've got for you that I've been given. But because it is Mental Health Awareness Week, and I know you have a great passion for this, Dawn. I know you do. For you guys, I used to work with Dawn when I was tutoring. And her husband, who you might have seen pass behind her earlier, you might not have done, I might not have started recording then. But he was my boss. And he was fab. He was fab. But I met Dawn because we were both safeguarding officers, weren't we? You were the adults, and I was the 16 to 18-year-olds. And so that's how I met you. Oh God, 2000 and.
I'm only 21.
Yeah, well, so am I. So there you go.
Yeah.
A few years ago. So, you know, and I've talked to Dawn over the years, and I do know that she has a great passion for mental health, and she does have her own views on what's going on at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hand the stage to you, Dawn. And sort of, what do you, with the current situation now with COVID-19, you know, I think we're in this sort of phase now where it really is having a huge impact on people's mental health, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure what help is out there. There doesn't appear. I can feel you, Dawn. I can feel you. I personally, so I know you're on this, I personally don't feel that there's any help out there for people. You're not hearing of anything.
Well, I understand that some agencies have been given £5 million by the government to use for something. It's supposed to go on the counselling side, but where it goes, I have no idea. It seems to go into this pit. people, I think, first of all, my profession is very, very undervalued. You mentioned your counsellor, everybody expects it for free. They don't realise the years. I mean, I trained to be a counsellor for 4 years. Some nurses only train for 3. I have trained for 4 years to become a counsellor. And it's run on volunteers. It's an area that's not got the recognition that it should have. And my view of how counselling should work is 360 to what happens now. So what happens now is you might approach a company, a really famous company, for counselling for free. You're then assessed, you're then put on a waiting list. The company I work for do a brilliant job, but they're dealing with people from, I think before lockdown, we were on June last year. We were dealing with clients that were referred June last year.
Wow.
The way it's done now is it needs a total overhaul. It needs a total revamp because it's not working. It's not reaching the people. The way if Boris wants to give me a ring,
We'll send it to him.
yeah, you tell Boris, Bojo, you tell Bojo, you give me a ring. Because unless it's totally re-looked at and totally changed, people will still be on waiting lists in 2 years' time. The only way to get round that, you started me off on this.
I know.
The only way to get around this is that every single person is graded by their GP. They go to see the GP, and every person is given help from the government. They're given a code from their GP. That code might carry 6 weeks counselling to start with, but they can take it anywhere they want. If they think they need CBT, cognitive behaviour therapy, they take it there. If they want person-centred, they take it there. If they need EMDR, they take it there. They can take it wherever they like. No company, no waiting list. They can approach anybody with this code. That counsellor then fills in a form, puts this code on, sends it in, and is then paid. Unless that happens, or unless it changes, people are going to be bogged down on waiting lists.
Yeah. But I also think for the actual client themselves, you know, when you need help, you need help.
You want it now. Yeah.
You don't need 6 months down the line,
No,
12 months, you need it now.
Exactly. If somebody suffers rape, is a victim of rape, right? Yeah, okay. Victim support, they do a good job, but they need help with the trauma of what they've gone through. They don't want to wait 6 months.
No.
By that time, it's compounded and become worse, turned into PTSD. Children need help now. Children going through divorce. The parents are divorcing. I'm talking like primary age and secondary age. They need help now. They don't want to grow up and have these issues compounded as they get older. They need help now.
It becomes a never-ending cycle then, doesn't it?
Exactly. But once it's in there as an adult, once you've grown as an adult and it's in there, it's very hard to change it. Because as you're growing up, your parent don't mean to say, oh, go away, you're thick, go away, stupid, leave me alone. They don't really mean to say that half the time, but that child's soaking these things up. It's called conditions of worth. It's what you are told as a child. It embeds inside your head. You grow up thinking you're thick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then and these issues, instead, if they're dealt with quick enough through family groups or whatever, that this, the parent needs help, the child needs help. If it's dealt with straight away, that child realises, oh, my mum was a bit upset that day. I'm not really thick. I'm quite bright. We're going to stop the adults becoming as impacted as they are right now. Cut down on the drinking and the drugs and everything else.
Yeah.
It has to change.
Children are like sponges, aren't they?
Exactly, yes.
People say, oh, children are resilient.
No.
Because a
No.
child doesn't show anything, doesn't mean to say they're not absorbing it and taking it all in.
A child believes what their parents tell them.
Yeah.
So in people out there, if ever you've got an habit of saying, oh, go away, you thicko, stop doing it. Because your child is believing what you're saying. 100% they are believing what is. If you're saying, you're naughty, you're naughty, you're naughty, your child is going to be naughty because you've told them they're naughty.
Yeah.
So parents out there, stop using those words.
Yeah. Think about what you're going to say. Think what you're going to,
Exactly.
think before you speak.
Yeah.
We've all got a bad habit of doing that, but with children,
Everybody.
they're like sponges, and they just
Yeah.
absorb it. And like you say, they grow up believing that. So, Dawn, you've frozen on me. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, all I was saying is totally agree. They will sort that up. They will believe it. If somebody else were to say, if a friend were to say, it probably won't impact them as much. But because the parents are saying it, the grandparents are saying it, it must be true.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. So what do you think? I need to stop because I know you're going to go on a rant soon. If I don't,
Yeah, go on.
Go
on.
So, what do you think? Coming out of lockdown, we're easing out of lockdown now. Well, I'm starting her on something else. I can see it brewing.
I'm not very good at this, am I?
No, you're doing a great job. Seriously, you're doing a great job. But coming out, we're easing out of lockdown now. On the mental health side of it, on the counselling, what do you think is going to come out of this? I'm very much about pull a positive out of this lockdown, but I think there's also going to be, in regards to mental health, there's going to be a lot of negatives coming out of this as well.
There is. There's going to be a lot more anxiety. People are going to be afraid to go back to work. They're going to be worrying. The worry is tenfold. Are my children okay? Am I going to catch it by working here? So anxiety, I think, is just until things settle down, until we've won this virus, things are just going to. Mental health's going to impact everybody. Everybody. What I would say is to keep on top of the anxiety. Try to have a routine. Try to make sure you do something in the day. Don't just sit and watch daytime TV. Turn off the TV. Do some gardening. Read a book. Distract your mind from thinking, oh, what about this? What if I catch COVID? Oh, everybody's dying from COVID. The truth of the matter is 3/4 of people catch COVID, and I've had it, will recover. Will recover. It's nasty illness, but they will recover.
Actually had it.
Yeah. Last year, I had a raging temperature for 3 days. Couldn't taste anything. Headache. Couldn't do anything. Putting the kettle on, I was exhausted. The coughing. I every bone in my body hurt. Every bone in my body hurt from coughing. I actually thought I got pneumonia, but luckily I hadn't. My daughter did get pneumonia. She had it. She got pneumonia. Hopefully, I never want to get anything like that again. I've had real flu. I've had influenza B, and it was worse than that. So
it's good that you're saying this, because I think there's a lot of people sort of brushing it aside. I mean, I've got, one of my best friends is a nurse. She's been a nurse since 1982, and Carolyn, please don't go back to work yet, because my job, even though I do coaching, but the bread and butter for me is the hands-on.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
and it's like, Carolyn, please don't go back, she says, because people don't realise what's actually happening. She says, you walk into hospital, you've got a COVID side and you've got a clean side.
Yeah.
And she says, and unless you actually see what's happening, people don't understand, because we're all locked in our own little houses, our safe dens.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
these people
what's going on out there.
People that see these that are taken into hospital with COVID, watching and seeing what happens to other patients. They're coming out with PTSD.
Yeah.
And they're going to suffer from this PTSD for quite a long time. So it's not just the anxiety, it's the sufferers that's been in hospital, the PTSD of the staff, the thousands and thousands of NHS staff, carers, what they've seen, what they've gone through. Mental health this is why mental health has got to have a total 100% overhaul, because these people need help. Nurses don't want to wait a year for a counselling appointment or psychotherapy appointment or whatever appointment. They need it now.
Yeah.
So it has to be done.
Yeah. No, I totally.
Rant over.
Sorry? Rant over. Are you sure?
No, until you ask me something else, probably, yes.
Well, I'm just looking, and you know, I think what you've just done is great. So I haven't really got any more questions. I did ask people in the group for questions, but you know, I haven't really got any other question. I think because it is Mental Health Awareness Week, I think what you're saying now is great. But, and I'm not sure if you can do this, say to people right now that are suffering with some sort of mental health, I would call it an issue, but who's suffering with mental health, you know, what would you say, or any sort of traumatic thing, you know, stress, anxiety, mental health, what would you as a professional be saying now?
Well, first of all, I'll be saying don't ignore it. Don't think there are people worse than you. Get it sorted, because what's traumatic to me might not be traumatic to you. It's all relative. So whatever it is, if it's worrying you, then speak to your GP, ask them, you know, can they refer you to some sort of counselling? NHS have got a great IAP service. Unfortunately, IAPs are stretched to the max. Whether or not they can offer long-term counselling, I don't know. I can't speak for them. If you've got the funds to pay for counselling, then do it. It's worth doing. If you don't have the funds, I would say lobby your MPs and get them to change the system. But as well as that, contact the main organisations, Age Concern, Mind, Changing Lives, everybody that you can, and try get on their list and sort it. Try to talk about how you feel with people. Try to maybe get a group conversation online, you and some friends, and say, look, let's just talk about how we're feeling. I've got this going through my head. What about you? Maybe on Zoom, Messenger, wherever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter wherever. And talk it through. And
so Dawn, because I know I'm going to get asked this once I've this. Do you take private clients?
Yes, I always I have private clients. At the moment, I'm only doing telephone counselling because, like yourself, I look after me. I make sure I'm safe. My clients are safe.
Yeah.
So I'm at the moment doing online Zoom or Messenger or however the client wants to do it, except for face-to-face right now.
Yeah. And do you have a website or any way that you contact you if they do?
I have an email address. I haven't had time to do a website. In fact, I'm totally useless at websites. I haven't got one. And if anybody wants to contact me for counselling, it's DMD Therapist.
DMD?
Yeah, Therapist.
At
gmail.com. I don't do fancy emails, just a Gmail.
So it's DMD Therapist at gmail.com.
It is.
Okay. Contact number, or would you prefer email?
I do have a business number, which I cannot remember, but if I give you it, you can add it someplace.
Yeah. And I don't know if you can give this out or if it's different. What's your costs or?
I have a flat fee of £40 an hour.
Okay. Okay. So that's good. would you do clients from, because in the group, you know, we have clients literally worldwide. So would you do clients from other, like America, well, going out as far as New Zealand, to be fair.
Very good.
You know, but I think that when this goes up, because it's all about, they're going to get to see, this is why I want you to do it. They can see, I know what a brilliant person you are, and I know that you're good at what you do. And if I can just say to everybody, I know that Dawn helped me when I was going through a bit of a bad patch. Can you remember?
I still need to send you the invoice for that one.
How many years ago?
Oh, think of the interest I can add on that.
No, just think about it. But yeah, so I know how good Dawn is, and it's like Dawn says, you know, we're all the same. Dawn's the same as me. I'm the same as Dawn. We're the same as you. Nobody's up there and something special. We're all exactly the same. We all go through the same issues, the same problems, some worse than others. Yeah. So,
yeah.
So don't be afraid.
There's a washing line behind me. I'm nothing posh.
There you go. You're lovely. So there you go. You know, Dawn will take clients on. Dawn, the difference between Dawn and I, Dawn is a counsellor.
Yeah, I don't give advice.
And I am a life coach. I take you from where you are now to where you want to be. And what does Dawn?
Me? I guide people through the counselling session. You are my expert.
Yeah,
and I just help you find your own answers.
Yeah, there you go. And once you've found those, then I'll take you from where you are to where you want to be. But like Dawn, I don't have the answers. My job is to extract the answers from you. You have the answers within you.
Yeah.
Dawn and I, or anybody else who's out there who do these sort of jobs, don't expect to go to them and then give you the answers. They can't do that.
Any counsellor that says they're an expert on whatever, I would just flick the page and find a different one.
Yeah, but I also think you have to be able to connect with that person. Yeah. You know, and this is why I wanted to bring Dawn. This is why I do my live chats, because it's important that you can see me. You either like me or you don't like me.
Exactly.
And if you like me, you say, oh, I can work with her. If you don't like me, you'll not even come anywhere near me. And the same with Dawn. I wanted to get her on here because the thing is I like putting a face to a name, and you know, potential clients can actually see you and go, yeah, I like the fact that you're down to earth, Dawn. I love that.
I'm a typical Yorkshire lass, as they say.
Yeah. Well, remember, I've got clients from America and everywhere else. They go, what's a Yorkshire lass?
I'd need subtitles. They won't understand a word I was saying.
You know, you've been very good today.
This is my CTS voice. Plug in CTS now.
So Dawn, thank you for that. So if anybody wants to get in touch with Dawn, you can either get in touch with Dawn through me, you know, or you can get in touch with Dawn via her Gmail. And what I'm going to do, Dawn, is I'm going to pop this on a video. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to put your details at the end. So if anyone can get hold of you, they can do.
No worries.
All right.
No worries. Thank you.
You'll be an absolute, well, you're already a star, but you'll be flying high. You'll be saying, Carolyn, stop sending me these clients. No, you're brilliant at what you do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up in the group, and I'm guessing from this I might get some further questions.
Yeah.
So we'll just go from there, really.
Okay, doke.
Thank you very much.
No worries, beautiful. I will see you again.
Did you enjoy it?
I'm not sure about enjoying. I'm sat here sort of cringing. I'm not used to this sort of thing. If you'd seen my audio when I did my exam, it was shambolic.
Well, I think you've been brilliant, and you've just come across as down to earth. You'll love this when you see it. Seriously.
No, I'm not looking. I am not looking. No.
Okay then, Dawn. Thank you very much.
Okay, beautiful. See you later. Bye-bye.